Good evening, everybody. Welcome to this game one, I think, between RedKitsune and Bread-Kun.
Actually, this is game 2, actually,
Alright,
between
wrong
Red and Bread. Spoiler alert, RedKitsune won the first race, but it was pretty close, I think. By the way, my name is JD Silvergun, and this is the Summer 2024 No Logic Tournament.
Yes, I'm Aurelian.
Morning.
Yes, it is very late at night for me, but I wasn't about to sleep yet. I'm excited to be seeing and commentating this race.
Yeah, I'm really excited too. These races have been like really hype, and I hope for the sake of our runners that the seed they get is kinder than the one I had the pleasure of playing earlier. That was quite something.
Alright. Might have to look back at that one. So to fill in what the category is, in No Logic, the items are placed completely randomly. The reason the game is beatable is because there's a lot of different glitches that are allowed, and with enough glitches you can make almost any seed beatable. It is very unlikely that the seed would be completely unbeatable. And to help with that, because one of the things that would make the seed impossible to beat within the rules would be if one of either the fire rod or the ice rod were on Trinex. To help with that, there are 2 fire rods and 2 ice rods in the item pool.
Oh yeah, that's a very good point. So we do have double rods, 2 of each rod, and this is a self-enforced rule that is agreed upon for the tournament, is that we have to actually defeat the bosses as well as acquire the crystals, which not always that doesn't always occur at the same time, is what I'm trying to say. So we'll probably see some examples of that. Get started.
Yep.
I think we're getting started here in a second. Just a tiny bit of delay here. Oh, don't delete the file, Red.
Okay, here we go. We have Bread starting at home, and RedKitsune starting in the Sanctuary. The Sanctuary has a glove. Great find.
Yeah, do you think he's going to check the back right away? He's not.
I kind of would have hoped to see that. It's not something you get to see as very often as a way to start the game, just diving into the back of Escape. But Bread-Kun checked the island and is going to be doing, this is a very common glitch to start with, that you do this sequence of hops into the water and you get to just check the hobo, which would otherwise be a pretty isolated location.
Yeah, that is a really nice fake flipper. I don't know who came up with that, but I learned the old way before I learned that way, and this is much better.
And then Bread's going to keep swimming because there's a swimming glitch, I believe it's called the Tam Swam, where you hug a diagonal wall and then you can just swim horizontally as far as you want in any, you can swim as far as you want as long as you go horizontally through terrain. And here it's happening. And this is a great way to get to Ice Rod Cave, especially if you line it up so you just happen to line right up with the door there.
Okay, so far RedKitsune is not really finding much. Check the Lumberjack and the Lost Woods. Nice sword for Bread-Kun in Ice Rod Cave, though.
Ooh, swords are important.
Yes, they are very important. It's one of the few things that we actually need to beat the game in every seed. A lot of the items are very negotiable depending on what our solutions are for beating the dungeons.
Bread-Kun keeping the water checks going.
RedKitsune is a big fan of these early Kakariko plays, from what I remember seeing their races. Which is not always a common thing in glitch mode. Sometimes people put this off Because it kind of shoehorns you into going to desert afterwards, and sometimes you might not want to go there right away. Ooh, Cane of
Oh, the
Samaria.
glitch cane is up there. This is huge for Bread-Kun.
I have to imagine Red will get that eventually, but we'll have to see how long before that happens.
Huh?
You can't leave that behind.
Yeah, and yeah, in most randomizer modes, you would of course want to go to Kakariko early because like it could have the progress that you need logically to get to wherever the seed wants you to go after that. But here there is no logic. There's items everywhere. They're all they've all got the same chance of being a good item. But I am also a fan of early Kakariko just because, like, it is still kind of more items, and it helps, seeing more items helps you make a plan.
Yeah, definitely. There's about 15 items or so in town, and Red got 2 bottles, which is really massive. Bottles are
Yeah.
one of our strongest glitching items. Shovel on the bottle vendor. Looks like Bread agrees with Red that early Kakariko is a good idea, farming some bombs from the bonk rocks. And we see the small key to Hera in the chicken hut, which is a very useful key for unlocking swamp in a lot of seeds, so we'll have to see if it gets done in that method later. Nice to see a fellow racer that frees the chicken.
Yeah, so our racers are, very well might not be opening swamp from the front the usual way. They might be coming in with a clip from Hera, and you need a key. You need to bring the key with you when you do that, and the Hera key is an obvious key to bring with you. But you could also come from Mire to Hera to swamp and bring a Mire key.
RedKitsune dug a hole in the ground in front of the store and found 20 rupees. I've never seen that before.
Alright, there's a key up there, and Red's gonna just sneak into the end of the race game. There it is. And then with the right movements, you get unstuck from the wall, and you can hop right back over the wall into the desert area.
Yeah, that's a neat trick. It's very specific, but very handy to know.
Oh, good.
Map of desert, outside of desert.
Timely
Convenient.
information. Now, at least
Does
one of
anyone
those
know what
bottles
MSQ?
is
Oh, I'm
filled.
sorry.
At least one of those bottles is filled, right?
One of them was a red potion in Blind's Hut. I think the other was a fairy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so with the red potion, they could do the YBA to get into the top floor of Thieves Town. Bread will also have the option of doing it without consuming a potion, of using the cane to get to the top of Thieves Town.
Yeah, Red going for the quadrant glitch to get to the right side instead.
Yep.
Maybe he has plans for the potion, which doesn't want to use it for this, being that he only has 70 rupees. That might be the reason. I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, yeah, they can do both, especially because they set up a death warp here.
Oh yeah, that's true. I just got used to seeing people like clip through the wall once they are already in Thieves Town. Oh, forgot about the fairy. That's
Oh
unfortunate.
no! Still committed to the death warp.
Yeah, at least he only had 3 hearts, so it wasn't as bad as it could have been. Does anyone know what MSU we have today on RedKitsune's side? Sounds like a fighting game. Could be wrong though. No, Darkstalkers, I was right, it was a fighting game. I thought it sounded familiar.
So I enjoy the early Thieves Town plays, but RedKitsune is doing more overworld checks.
Yeah,
Bread-Kun, on
opening
the other
Thieves Town
hand,
had a good, strong play, and yeah, Brett is showing us the North Samaria.
yep. So yeah, a lot of glitches in this game involve doing something that the game didn't expect you to do well in the middle of a door. And drinking a bottle is one of them, and interacting with Kena Samaria blocks is another thing. So yeah, Bread was able to clip from desert into Thieves Town, which is the the rooms right above it on the map.
Yeah, that's a really good point, is that door glitches are just extremely powerful, using Samaria blocks, bombs, potions, like anything we can.
However, Bread has the fairy, right? No!
I think Brett already, like, dumped it, or must have, because both bottles were in Kakariko.
Oh, that was intentional. That was a key steal. To just
Yeah.
take the now unnecessary Thieves Town key and bring it to the right side of desert.
And yeah, this is really good, not just because Brett doesn't have to quadrant glitch to get over here, but because that specific door is a good door to use glitches in to access Swamp. If Swamp's a crystal, or if you're not sure if it's a crystal and you just want to go there, that's one of the ways we do it. And we might actually see that right now just to check for items.
Oh yeah.
Yes. So this is East Samaria. We saw the North Samaria. This one is a bit more precise, or tricky to set up, rather.
Meanwhile, Red is setting up the Death Mountain ascent. This sequence of clips gets you into the cave where the old man is, and that's an easy way to get up to Death Mountain.
So this is interesting. I'm not sure why. Maybe Red doesn't know the diver down without splashing. So this is a little bit slower, but still will get you the items, draining the water, but he needs to take a specific path to do this. If Bread goes through the left door and tries to go around, it won't work because the glitch that we did to get here broke the transition, basically. You can go once east or west, but you can't go back. So that's why he has to take the long way around, like go up and down stairs.
So that's the one west transition that Bread gets, right?
Yeah. He cannot go back. It will, I think it's a soft lock. I haven't seen what happens in a while, but
Oof. Okay.
you can just save and
That's
quit.
fine. Yep. Yeah, no reason to keep going from there, and taking the death brings him back to desert.
Oh, someone in chat is saying Bread does know the left side diver down, like with the 1 frame buffers, but I don't know. You don't always think about everything. There's a lot to keep in your head when you're doing these seeds. So I've definitely forgotten to do stuff that I know how to do, so maybe we'll ask him about it later.
And yeah, there is so much to think about during a no logic seed. Like, you've got to think of, like, what glitches do you know and are you confident in, and and how are you going to combo them together to win the game? And you
Yeah,
gotta
that's
make
TR big.
decisions before you know what kinds of items you're gonna be finding in this part of the game.
Yeah, sorry for interrupting. I just wanted to point out that the TR big key in Checkerboard Cave that's, in my opinion, definitely one of the better big keys,
Yeah,
especially because Bread has the Key of Samaria.
yeah, no, it's a really good item, and I feel like it's avoidable, but the things you have to do to avoid using the Turtle Rock Big Key are time consuming.
Yeah, and it's the one particular infamous way the Trinex double YBA is notoriously difficult and punishing if you make a mistake
Hmm.
doing it. Third bottle
Oh,
already,
mirror.
and mirror in the back of Escape. They're loading up on glitch items.
Alright, Bread setting up a clip from this room in Escape. I guess that this was a reason to not go to Escape first, with the glove. Because
Yeah, I
were you
was
wanting...
thinking about that too. Because I attempted this, but I only had 3 bombs and I messed it up, so I just left. Because this, like, just came up for me. Like, having an early glove, it's kind of awkward sometimes, because sometimes you want to put off going to places until you have more items to make it a more worthwhile trip. But Bread did a nice example of the East auto door juke. And using the mirror to correct the world state goes from fake Dark World to real Dark World to real Light World, by virtue of the fact that we didn't change our world variable by traveling through the underworld to the pyramid, so the game didn't know that we weren't really in the Dark World. It's kind of a strange thing that's patched out of regular rando.
And like there's often a lot of routing that causes racers to put off Hyrule Castle for a very long time. But this has been a nice route that brought Bread-Kun, easily to the castle. There's one of our ice rods in Mini Moldarm Cave for RedKitsune.
The Giga Brain play with this Hyrule Castle play would have been to set up the mirror portal for Pyramid Fairy. Well, I don't know. I guess there's no point in doing the juke, but I guess I had an idea, but I changed my mind. I don't like the idea. The point I'm trying to make is that you can use the mirror to check Pyramid Fairy if you set it up beforehand, which also gets you the Pyramid Ledge item. So having the mirror makes that... Well, I don't know, because the mirror was in the back of Escape, so I would have aborted the juke, personally, if I had thought to beforehand. So, if Red checks the Pyramid Fairy, it could be an advantage.
Both our racers finding swords, so that brings Bread to the Master Sword.
Swords in Hyrule Castle are kind of a funny thing, because if somebody finds a Cave State Big Key outside of the castle, they may not make the trip all the way down here. And the Master Sword was in the Boomerang chest, which is pretty deep.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, this big key doesn't just open the cell in this mode, because it's also one of the big keys you can use as a cave state big key. If you go into a dungeon starting from an overworld cave, so that the game thinks you're still in a cave, then that's going to be something that you can use as a big key in that situation.
And I think Bread-Kun is about to show us that. So this is YBA, Yusuhara's Bottle Adventure. Drinking a potion on the same frame when you transition allows you... It does a lot of effects. In this case, it's going to let him skip over one of the rooms. It's kind of like going through the door twice. You're moving to a different location on the map. Having a little trouble getting on the pixel here, but it gets it done though. And this is Cave State. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay, now we're in Cave State Thieves Town, and that big key is opening all the doors to Blind Cell. Also, in Cave State, you have 255 small keys to work with. So we're probably going to see unlocking a bunch of doors.
That's very convenient. Our tracker Tam rightly pointing out that neither of the runners did the shortcut to get the Zora Ledge item, so and neither is losing time on that.
Bread-Kun unlocking the doors and then heading into the blind fight. And if you hit select at the right moment, you get LSD blind. And in addition to messing up the colors, this causes the door to the boss room to stay open so that you can then head out of Thieves Town and get checks on the way out.
Yes, that's right. The significance of keeping the door open is because the game doesn't know we're in Thieves Town. The game thinks we're in a cave, so... sorry, I just got weirded out for a second by that ether. Anyways, never mind.
Yeah.
You have to enter in the dungeon from the front door to get the prize, in most cases, so... That's what we're gonna see.
RedKitsune,
Red is
Spiral Cave, another easily skipped location. Ooh, there's a bow in the front of Thieves Town.
The bow is a pretty nice item, for sure. So now that Bread has left and re-entered the dungeon, we are in actual Thieves Town state, not cave state. So by entering the boss room with the boss defeated, we are going to see the prize, pendant or crystal is what I mean by that. Well, it is a crystal, so Red gets the first crystal on the board. 20 minutes. The Red showing off with a hover in Paradox Cave.
Oh, wow.
That was a fast
That's
hover, too.
extra.
He only has 3 bombs. That hover could save the day, you never know. I don't know how that spin didn't hit the dead rock, but it didn't cause any problems, though.
Red hopping down Death Mountain and going back to check King Zora. Speaking of easily skipped locations.
Yeah, this is wild. Like, I check Zora sometimes, but I usually do it, like, off of a death or a save and quit, so I can reset my money back if I'm doing this. It's a pretty swingy location. Like, Bread will probably not come back for this. And it's nothing.
It's the scam.
Oh, we see Bread mirroring to continue in the Dark World. Setting up a mirror wrap to get the Stumpy item. This is interesting. I like this one. I don't always go for this, but it's a cool trick to be able to know how to do.
Yeah. I have not learned this one. I find it very visually confusing.
It really is weird. It feels like you're stuck when you first do it. You have to like wiggle around, and then even when you start moving, the camera is all wrong. So I like to scroll all the way to the left until it locks, and then move back to the right. So he's at the left of the grove, even though it looks like he's on the right. And now he's in the middle, actually. I think he got the item, but he was so far to the... Oh no, he's still trying to figure out where he's going. I'm not sure if he got it. I'm assuming he did. Yeah, because he's cutting the bushes, so we know he got it. But it's possible to make the item visible if you talk to Stumpy from the right side, even though Stumpy is not visible. So with this item state, we get Super Bunny state from acquiring an item on the overworld. So with a tree pull, this will give us a link state, a one-time use link state. If we enter the underworld and then exit to the overworld, we will be a bunny again.
I didn't know there was a pullable statue there.
Yeah, that's the risky one. The safer one is below, but
Yeah.
Bread had the luxury of sword beams to protect himself as Super Bunny. That's always nice.
Early flute, we might see it used.
Yeah, Tam pointing out dashing through the gate. I'm sorry, I'm having trouble today. Dashing through the grass is risky as Super Bunny because if you bonk on a skull or take damage from like a randomly spawned enemy, it will kill the Super Bunny and you won't be able to get your link state. Dark Palace and Desert Palace are the reds today, which will be shocking if anyone actually purchases the bomb, but we'd just like to know what the crystals are. It doesn't matter if they're red or not. Red going back to the back of Escape to bomb juke is interesting. He was there earlier.
Huh. We are seeing the flute get activated. A lot of times in no logic, you'll see runners just ignore the flute because, like, you can already get everywhere anyway. But, you know, flute can be faster if it shows up early enough, and it is a really great way of getting to the potion shop to buy more potions, which are fuel for glitches.
Yeah, with 3 bottles, I would be shocked if we didn't see a lot of fluting around in this seed.
And this, I guess this is Fred's first trip up Death Mountain.
You know, that's funny. I didn't think of it earlier, but Red did the DMA glitch with having the glove. It's kind of funny how, like, sometimes we forget we can do things normally.
That's true.
But Red is going to get his Master Sword in the Boomerang chest and pick up the Cave State Big Key from the Ball and Chain Guard. We'll see if he follows into Thieves Town. Follows a similar route. But we know it's a crystal, so he'll have to eventually. And from Bread, we just saw the DMD, or Death Mountain descent to Graveyard Ledge. So it looks like Bread also forgetting they have the glove. You can hula hand into the back of Escape hole as well. I think it's a little faster than transitioning the screen, but this works too. By virtue of descending the mountain in an unintended manner, our camera is broken just enough to trigger the hula hand drop. Oh, it needed to take damage to do the YBA, that's why he's setting it up again. I'm a little surprised that he's doing this method instead of using the sword for a visual cue the way Bread did. But this is called Time Bomb, and the purpose is to stop moving on the same frame the bomb explodes, and that's how you know you're on the right pixel.
Oh wow, I've never seen this setup before.
Yeah, this is really strong if you're like swordless, which is why I'm confused why he's doing this, but it works, and he succeeded at doing the YBA.
I mean, sometimes you just gotta do the techniques that you've practiced, so maybe this is one that Kitsune felt, practiced and comfortable with. Bread-Kun doing a clip, the screen wrap from the mini Moldorm cave into King's Tomb.
No idea what that item was, but maybe we'll find out later.
Rupees, alright.
Bread is very serious, no time to correct the camera. I don't know, I don't think anyone plays no logic swordless on purpose. I'm responding to something in chat. Although some seeds are very stingy with swords, you might not get them until late. It's funny that that is brought up because a lot of our glitches actually require having a sword, like quadrant glitches where we tink off of an enemy or like a cannonball, or like spin YBAs, or like hook pushing with sword beams, or just using the sparkles from holding the sword to do a miss-slot glitch. So we really want swords, not just to kill things with.
Alright, so right now our runners are repeating checks that the other one has made, but what other possibilities do they have open to them with this set of items?
With 3 bottles, I mean, I think you could probably do anything. It's just some options are more time-consuming than others.
Yeah, so what is appealing to do? It could
What's
be
appealing? I'm surprised we haven't seen Pod yet. Like, that's a bunch of free items, because we
That's
can
a good
cave
point.
state that the way we cave state Thieves' Town. Everything else that you do is like some kind of a commitment. Like, just example, like Eastern, we could do that, but we would have to either cave state it with like a Stairmaster and then like do a bunch of backtracking, or we could delete the door with the Cane of Samaria, which is well, it works. It also involves like repeating rooms in the dungeon, so it's not our ideal solution.
Yeah.
Like Mire, they would have to YBA. To Ice, we would have to do multiple YBAs to do it. Although Ice is clearable, though, and so is Eastern. I think technically Mire, yeah, Mire we could do. We can't do TR because we don't have Fire Rod. I don't know. I feel like Pod is good because it's like it's a non-committal play. Like
Yeah.
you don't really need to like stress yourself out. You only have to do like 1 or 2 glitches to do it, and you get a lot of items while doing it. But
Yeah, Pod would be a great place to go. And like especially having the mirror, you can just do the easy version of statue drag to get to the boss.
yeah, doing statue drag without the mirror feels bad because the stair transition, well, setting up the statue and then doing 2 stair transitions, it adds like over 45 seconds to the glitch.
Yeah, maybe Bread is going to the Palace of Darkness. Here's the Palace of Darkness.
Yes, this is a bomb clip called Kiki Skip. You may have seen it if you saw some vanilla RMG speedruns. It's also legal in HMG rando. But conveniently it wraps the entire underworld map, which despawns all the sprites. And that gives us a nice peaceful dungeon we can loot.
Yep. All the enemies are gone. Also, all the crystal switches are gone, which doesn't matter too much to no logic routing.
You know, that's a really good point, because so if you go to the right side, you cannot, if you hammer the pegs and jump down, you're trapped because the switch is considered a sprite.
So Bread now has all the medallions. So Misery Mire is going to be absolutely fine.
Yeah, medallions and Samaria, that's, all they need is the lamp and they could do it, like, completely, like, vanilla. But really what they're looking for right now is the fire rod. Like, the lamp would help, but the lamp is not guaranteed to be go mode because we do not know our full prize info.
Yep. Yeah, it seems likely that a fire rod would be all that's needed for a convoluted go mode. But, you know, you want to have a lamp and a hook shot and, you know, other and flippers, I guess.
Yeah, that was gonna be my next thing, because I forgot about Swamp. I don't know how I forgot about it. I mean, Swamp is easily the worst dungeon in Double Rods. I think it's not even close.
Mm-hmm.
No hook shot, no flippers. I mean, Samaria helps you do the boss, but it doesn't... It's not super helpful with getting the crystals. I mean, at least not quickly, anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, so with that kill of Blind, Red has tied it up. Both have 1 crystal. And Red is also going to mirror to continue in the Dark World, but going north instead of south. I like that Red didn't do the right side, because it's faster to do it with the bow, and he can also use the mirror if he wants to check that, but this is a setup for statue drag, mirroring while pushing the statue.
Yeah. So, dragging the non-existent statue through the door sets up a screen wrap that lets you clip right into the boss room.
Yeah, this is the most common way we go to the boss in this mode. A few people have been going the normal way, which is very unusual, but I mean, that's part of the interest of this mode, is that you have the freedom to do a lot of things. And our runners have been doing a lot of, like, pretty tricky stuff, like, successfully, like, very quickly as well. So this is looking like a good race so far. Like, there are a lot of steps in the process that Bread just did that can fail the whole thing and make you have to start over, but it was no problem.
So that is a second crystal for Bread.
And meanwhile, Red is setting up a North Samaria and Skullwoods. The purpose of this one is to write the contents of the the big key chest onto this chest. So the chest he opened was not actually... The contents were whatever was in the big key chest. I'm sorry, I feel like I'm not explaining that well, but... So this is actually... It just happens they were both pieces of heart, but...
Yeah, a little confusing.
Just trust me, it was 2 different items.
But yeah, a way to check the big key chest, or the big chest without opening the big chest.
So Bread back in House of Darkness. Looks like he left behind the big key chest in Stalfo's basement and it's comboing that with the right side. But meanwhile, Red is going potion shopping. It looks like this is turning into an Eastern Saha play.
Hey, so I mentioned before the stream I wasn't feeling well, and that I hoped some acetaminophen would fix it, and it's not quite fixing it. Do you think you could take the commentary from here?
Yeah, of course, if you're not feeling well.
Yeah,
I'm sorry to hear that.
yeah, I'll be fine. I'll be watching from lying down. And I'll have a much better time than trying to stay upright. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I really hope you feel better.
Mhm.
Don't worry about it.
All right.
Alright, Blue Mail, Ice Palace Big Key, and Heart Container in Saha's Closet. I think that's the first we're seeing that, actually. Skull Woods is the green pendant. Well, since they don't have the fire rod anyway, that's kind of convenient. I mean, Skull Woods typically is one of the easier dungeons to do, because there are ways to get in the back without the fire rod, but it's possible if TR is also a pendant that they can get by on just a lamp, and they don't need the fire rod. They already have bombos for cold stare. It's not unheard of, even in double rods, to finish without the fire rod, as long as you have the lamp for Ganon. But there's no way around that, unless you could do a task like 4 silver arrows for phase 4. So, Red is doing a door juke to get to the big key chest, and meanwhile, Red is doing the dungeon normally, and I did not see what that item was. Powder in the compass chest for Red. Powder is an interesting item. In some seeds, it really can save the day because it's not as good as having the lamp, but it can help us manipulate a value called the search index, which is used for misslotting glitches. So what Bread is doing right now is called West Samaria, and he didn't forget that he doesn't have the big key. That's part of setting this up. And that was a successful execution of the West Samaria. It has to mirror to reset the dungeon because the sprites despawn, but as you saw, it opened the door. So I had talked about this earlier and I wasn't sure if we were going to see this, but the Bread is probably thinking that having the mirror and having just done pod, it's probably good to get this out of the way. And another side effect is that it dupes the compass chest because it writes the data from the big chest onto this chest. And Bread, I don't know if he was opening it again for swag or just forgot what it was, which I've definitely done before, but you know, it's really great when there's like a sword or a glove or like something like that in that chest. But we don't get any benefit from having extra powder, unfortunately. It looks like Red is also doing the West Samaria. Now this is a good solution to the dungeon, if you don't mind taking a little bit of time, but it has become a bit less common lately with the discovery of a glitch called Stairmaster, which allows us to cave stay Eastern. Without hook pushing, I should say. So wait, oh no, did Red go and up to the door again after he transitioned? Because yeah, that's bad. So I hope Red saved the game recently because I think Red just hardlocked the game. And I think Red thinks so too, because we're seeing a reset. That is really unfortunate. So if you transition after you get the prompt from the door that you don't have the big key without successfully doing the glitch, you have to go back to the door again, because it sets a value in the game that makes this trick work in a timely fashion. It's only 18 minutes, says Tam. I feel like it's faster to reset. I feel like the progress that was lost was less than 18 minutes. Yeah, all Red did was buy potions and go to Sahasrara before Eastern, so that's definitely not 18 minutes worth of progress. Alright, so meanwhile, Bread has taken down the Armos Knights, and I'm in trouble reading this tracker, maybe. Was that a pendant or a crystal? Either way, we're setting up a YBA. This is to go to Meyer, and we are bomb snapping into the door to get in position because it's an auto door, and having 3 medallions immediately exits and opens the dungeon so that the game knows we're in Meyer rather than Eastern. This is quite a luxurious seed our runners have, like immediate Master Sword, like Samaria, 3 bottles, even with the 3 medallions and the Meyer Big Key on top of it, like this is like Christmas. All they need is like a lamp and a hook shot. Oh, Stairmaster. How do I explain this? So you drink a potion to... you do the YBA inputs in the stairs and it stops you from going up the stairs. And if you do the specific inputs after that, you go up the stairs, but you don't go up the stairs normally. It lets you, like, go through the wall north of wherever the top of the stairs are. If that makes sense. So in the case of Eastern, you can go from Spectacle Rock Cave to the anti-fairy room on the 2nd floor of Eastern. And it's cave state, so you can unlock everything. Oh, Stair Hamster, what? Okay, you know, sorry, I just read it too quickly. I didn't see that you guys were discussing something called Stair Hamster, not Stairmaster. See, if anyone has an explanation for that, I would like to hear it. And we see Bread has the silver arrows in the spike chest in Meyer. That's interesting. If the hook shot shows up, those silver arrows and powder are a pretty easy setup for hook pushing, specifically stuck pushing. And has the cane to detonate blocks to release the hook afterwards, so it's really easy. Okay, I didn't see... I'm assuming Red deleted the door this time. I missed it the last second. Well, like I said earlier, they have everything for my vanilla style except the lamp, and we see Bread is having a little bit of trouble with this room. Maybe he hasn't done it in a while, or just... I don't know, it's pretty early in the morning if you live in America or Canada. Oh, that is a very... what? Oh, he has a fairy. Never mind. But it's not an unfortunate death, but... bit of a time loss, but better than dying. Meanwhile, Red is having his own dark room adventures, ethering the popos and eventually getting the key from the Igor. I think Red was not going far enough to the right before throwing the block up, but it's hard to tell when you're not the one holding the controller, though. Okay, it looks like we're powdering another fairy. I agree with just regardless of being low on health, resetting the room will probably help. Just get your bearings again. Oh, Eastern was a crystal, according to our wonderful tracker, Tam. Alright, so RedKitsune picks up his second crystal. Meanwhile, Bread has made it through the door, finally. Thank goodness. So that was making me nervous. And this room, I think, is actually worse than that room, but yeah, it uses Burna though, which is, I agree with doing that, because that spike is really annoying when you can't see it. But without Burna, that room is terrible in the dark. Even if you just tank it, you can still get, like, knocked out of place. So, it looks like Red is also going to YBA to Meyer. Unfortunately, does not have the Quake medallion, which was in Pod, I'm pretty sure. And a couple slashes of frustration for losing the 2 out of 3 there. Easy game with silver arrows on Vitreous, and we see the Moon Pearl is in Meyer's shed from Red, who is now locked out of Meyer. They also got the Desert Big Key, which is interesting. Or, I'm sorry, Bread did. Red did not, because Red did not get to enter the dungeon. It looks like Red says, I don't need the Desert Big Key, we're gonna come in here anyway. And we're gonna kill the boss. I'm curious if Red is going to mirror after killing the boss here, because I don't know, I guess it just depends. We don't know what our last pendants are and crystals. Well, the reason why you would not pick up the Desert Prize is because you can use it for a warp later for routing purposes. And Desert Argus is a pretty common play. And the reverse spin YBA. Not familiar with that setup. Alright, just a compass on the boss, and Red does decide to just grab the crystal. And speaking of which, Bread-Kun is exactly doing the Desert Argus play I was talking about. So this is a glitch called Death Hole Argus. It uses the North Samaria to create an invisible pit. Well, several actually, but we're going to use this one. And this takes advantage of the JP 1.0 glitch, where you can be hit while falling into a hole. And, don't know exactly how it works, but because it's a Samaria hole, we get a fairy revive, and it also does other things. It writes data on certain places, corrupts transitions, so when we transition right here, all of a sudden we're in Argus's room. Meanwhile, we see an archery contest on RedKitsune's side. And looking at that rupee count, I'm not extremely surprised to see this, just a little bit. Oh, he didn't have enough to dig. That's pretty unfortunate. Meanwhile, Bread is trying to manipulate the boss to get off camera to skip the first phase of the fight. And he has to do this because we don't have the hook shot. It looks like that worked this time, though. So as long as Bread hugs the... Oh... I was going to say, as long as Bread hugs the south wall, this is a completely safe fight, but... using Burna makes it safe anyway. I mean, it does lag the game a lot, so I would advise against doing that, but anything is better than dying, though. So that is the Desert Crystal for Bread. I don't think we know the prize of Swamp yet, but if it is a crystal, that boss is required, so... So, was that sword in Mire, or was it in the desert big chest? I missed it. Where that tempered sword was? We see the flute in Hype Cave from the NPC. And some much needed rupees for Red. The sword was desert big. I was kind of worried about that because... Bread is kind of running away with this race. It looked like he had kind of a slight lead from a little bit better execution early on, and then Red had the little accident with the West Samaria. Didn't go to pod, got locked out of Mire, so it doesn't have the Desert Big Key, which led to a sword. Okay, so Red is doing a bomb clip to enter the Hyrule Castle sewers from Hera. And, there's a few reasons why you might want to do this. This could be just a check of Dark Cross, or he could be... Yeah, I think this is just Dark Cross. I don't know what else he would be doing here right now. Alright, so this looks like an Ice Palace play from Bread. If we bomb snap into this auto door to set up a YBA, the YBA will take us into Cave State Ice Palace. Meanwhile, Red is doing a TR climb, but not going to TR, just crossing to the other side of the mountain. And this is a good play for Red, because Red is a strong hoverer, can get all the items in Hookshot Cave without using the hookshot. Yes, the big key of Ice Palace. I wonder if that text was a factor in the decision of coming to Ice Palace. Sometimes the game will give us friendly reminders. Yeah, I agree with Yoho in chat that the Argus play may perhaps have been a bit, premature, but sometimes you gotta gamble in races, so that might pay out. It might be a waste of time. So we know for sure Brett is going to have to go back for Landmo at some point, but the Red may never have to kill Argus, though. Yeah, bosses are quite a gamble in this mode. I mean, I feel like they rarely have good items, but the seeds they do, they can really swing a race. I've definitely won races by getting like a rod off of a pendant Helmasaur, just because it takes like 3 minutes to do the boss. Like, so it's a really good like it's usually considered a good play to just skip the boss if you know it's a pendant. We see the hammer in Ice Palace Big Chest. That's interesting. Going to allow Bread to access the boss without using any glitches. Alright, meanwhile, Red bombs open the wall to the ferry in Hookshot Cave. This is a setup for a Cave State GT play. The GT play is interesting in this mode, because it's a very dense item location. It's also a very unrequired location, though, so statistically it usually pays out, but this is rando. You could get lucky or unlucky. So if Red pulls a Fire Rod and TR is a crystal, this could be very significant. Meanwhile, Bread, killing Cold Stare, gets a crystal. Let me look at our info here. Yeah, right now we have a 50-50 of TR and Swamp, and so this Argus play is starting to make more sense to me, because the Bread is betting aggressively that TR is the pendant, and wanted to get the Argus boss kill out of the way, and in the meantime is doing other dungeons, checking items, hoping something will make it easier for him to acquire the Swamp Crystal later, or perhaps the Fire Rod itself if TR is required. Oh, it's 1 in 3. Alright, sorry, my mistake. So it's 1 in 3. So that's still a 2/3 that it's a crystal, because we have... Wait, hold on, sorry. No, it's 1 in 3, I'm sorry. And it is very early in the morning. Everyone will have to bear with me. Just a shield in the GT big chest, and Brad is going back to clean up land mode. And this is required by the rules of the tournament, even though he has the desert crystal. The boss must also be defeated. Oh, this is interesting that Red is choosing to go this way in GT. Not having the hammer, we'll have to do more glitching to get left side items. Depending on the potions that he had, he could have got Rando Room and then continued to the front where he is now. Could also use Samaria to get Rando Room from the back, but would not be able to continue to the front if he did that. So, and we're resetting the dungeon. I'm not sure why. Okay, he's saving and quitting. So, it was possible for him to get the Dark Magician's Room with the bomb juke, especially given how comfortable with hovering he is. I'm surprised we didn't see either DM's Room or Rando Room, because the Samaria makes Rando Room easy to get to from the meetup room, but maybe we'll have to talk to him about that later. And maybe he just forgot. Because basically, he traded the 4 chests in Rando Room for the Torch and the Hope Room chests, which mathematically is slightly worse, but... Anyways, right now Bread is doing a YBA to set up a wrong warp, and it looks like we're getting the Swamp unlock play. By traversing through all these dungeons in Cave State, we have unlimited small keys, essentially. So, Red getting the bad news that Quake was available before his Eastern Mire play. Oh, this was to open the Hera door. Okay. So, Brett is setting up a potential door delete for the sewer door, which is used for dungeon ID swapping. So I'm curious if we're going to see a Castle Tower swamp, or if Brett is... Oh no, he just wants to do the dungeon right now. I'm not used to seeing people do it this way, because this is certainly not the ideal way to do this dungeon, but it definitely works. I like it. So, we'll still be able to unlock Swamp from Hera using the Hera small key, though. But I used the Cave State big key to unlock the door for Hera. So, if this is a pendant, then... Well, that still doesn't tell us our info. We have 2 unknown pendants and 1 unknown crystal. Yeah, this seed is too easy. Like, I don't want to down talk the execution that Bread has been doing has been, for the most part, really good. But this seed has been very generous with items, except for the fire source. Because Bread has a lot of dungeons done for the 1 hour, 4 minute mark, and we do learn that Hera is a pendant. So now we are actually down to the 50-50 of Swamp versus TR. It's like some decision making is going on, so I don't know what Brad's plan for Swamp is. We might see a Fate Clippers attempt. But we needed to buy potions before flooding the dam was the reason why we saw the little back and forth there. Oh, that RedKitsune is setting up a statue drag to Helmasaur. We saw this earlier on Bread's side. So we're back in Hera, and this is looking like it's gotta be the swamp play. He bought potions, he flooded the dam, which, as long as we don't do an overworld transition, the flooded state will remain flagged in the game. I like the aggressively killing the enemies to get them out of the way before even attempting the clip. Like, this room is brutal in a vanilla speedrun, because sometimes the enemies just will not leave you alone. Like, Bread is having a little bit of trouble with this clip, and, yeah, select buffering is definitely not the most fun aspect of doing glitches. And Also, might start feeling the pressure, because Bread knows that if there was a fire source available and he just missed it, that this is a super jet seed, so... That was a really weird clip. I don't know what happened there. He got, like, way past where he needed to go, but he didn't, like, unclip out of the wall. I don't think I've ever seen that before. Okay. Alright, that looked good. What? I don't know what happened there. Maybe his... I thought that looked good. Maybe the diagonal was not clean, but he did a spin just to give extra duration, like, to do the inputs, like... Meanwhile, Red, back in Eastern. This looks like we're going back to Meyer with the medallion this time. Yeah, I don't know what went wrong that time, because I was watching Red's screen. Brad is getting really frustrated with this dash citrus. I don't think it's any easier, but it could attempt a bomb clip as well. But I'm assuming he probably doesn't know that, because that's old tech. And he keeps getting too far in the wall somehow. I really don't know what's going on. It looks like Red went further into the dungeon to farm some arrows or something, and now we're back at this door. Oh no, he saved and quit. Oh, dang. Like, I suppose this isn't good for the race, at least. That it's gonna tighten up, because Red is playing a little crystal catch-up right now, while Brett is trying to execute some glitches to get more done. It looks like we're abandoning the aggressive route and... Well, never mind. We're not abandoning we're getting even more aggressive. We're front dooring Swamp. Does he have the small key, though? I'm confused by what's going on here. I thought that he was gonna go to Hype Cave, but he just went straight for Swamp. Meanwhile, Red is setting up a bomb clip to escape without using the hammer. Alright, okay, we see he does have the Swamp Small, okay. Well, this does skip a step if he's able to do the difficult part. This is way more difficult than the clip he was just having a bit of trouble with. It looks like he needs to, like, fix his index, because he's not getting a splash delete here. Okay, well that was good. A nice use of the boomerang. The red boomerang fills up a ridiculous amount of slots, so that definitely helped. Alright, so this trick, this... If anyone's seen any vanilla speedruns, this is way more difficult than the Fate Clippers in ADRMG. You have to do a 1 frame down release 1 time only, which is easy. For this, you have to do it repeatedly until you get like halfway up the wall. This is not the smoothest, but the fact that he did it at all is impressive. I'm assuming he's not too low, that was good. And maybe he was too low. Oh, okay, never mind. He's good. He's good. I'm used to seeing people go through the rail and not going all the way over to like the handles. Oh no! To get that far and then fail it. Oh no! Oh man, oh god, that feels horrible. You gotta be patient and time it. So, what Bread needs to do is so you're holding down left, and you need to release down for exactly 1 frame at a time. Well, it gets it really fast that time. So, but he needs to do these one frame down releases, like, repeatedly, until he gets, like, into the wall. So this is like hovering, but more difficult, if you can imagine that. So once he gets this far, he needs to get down the stairs without taking damage. Once he's downstairs, he almost made the same mistake. Like, he's cutting it so close. Like, this is the easy part of the trick. Alright. Okay, we made it. We're good. And that is wild to me that he just did that and, like, gave up on the dash citrus. I mean, this makes some sense. It's just surprising. Because if you have the Swamp Small and the Moon Pearl and the Mirror, it's actually pretty rare you have all those things in the same seed. But anyway, so we're in Swamp. We made it past the most difficult hurdle, which is the front floodgate, the water. So now we just need to do a YBA to Hera and collect the prize. So assuming this is a crystal, Bread just needs to find fire for Ganon. If it's not a crystal, he needs to find specifically the fire rod for Trinex. But there are two of them, though. We play double rods. So there's 2 ice rods and 2 fire rods in the pool. And it is a crystal. I don't know if that's lucky or unlucky. I guess it is lucky, because you don't have to worry about bosses. But it's pretty unlucky if some of the bosses that we haven't done happen to have the fire rod. Well, although those are all... Never mind. The only ones he hasn't done to require the fire rod. Oh no. This is a bit of a silly situation. I thought he went back for Landmo. He could be resetting to clear his Ancilla, which would have made sense to do earlier for the Splash Delete. Or my thought was maybe he wanted to check something in the practice hack, but obviously that's not the case because like he didn't do that. Okay, this is a GT play from Bread. I could have sworn that Bread went back for Landmo. Like, I feel like I saw Bread in Desert like quite a few times, but I could be mistaken. Because if you have to do a boss and your go mode is one item, there are 3 of them that will help him. It makes sense to just do the boss. And that was a really nice... Oh, okay, he hard reset to do the West Samaria, that's why. Okay, so that answered our question why he did the hard reset. So, the problem that Red had earlier with the West Samaria, Red was avoiding by resetting his console. Because it changed a value. So by going directly to GT after doing the reset, it made it so that you can do the West Samaria without hard locking the game. That's actually kind of rarely seen. I'm a little surprised we don't see that more often, but we have so many ways to do GT. So some of these checks, the ones he just did, we already saw from red, but these ones are new. The Dark Magician's Room and Onward. Oh, we're getting some hovers from Bread, too. I don't think we saw him hovering earlier, so... Interesting. I'm going back in the VOD, because I need to know if I'm crazy or not. I could have sworn we saw the Landmo on Bread's side, but maybe I just need to get some sleep after this. Alright, okay, I'm going back and forth here. I'm checking the VOD because I want to make sure. Okay, we see Mitts in Rando Room, Bombs, Big Key of Hera, after we already skipped it, thanks game. Okay, I am crazy and sleep deprived. I don't know why I thought that Bread did Landmo. I'm also confused why we're not doing Landmo now with the Spin YBA. Oh, this East Samaria... I'm not sure what he's trying to accomplish here, actually. Or this could just be a juke, or it could be an East Samaria. Whatever it is, he's having a little trouble with it. Oh no, he's not. He did it. He's doing multiple East Samarias. I don't know why, though. Oh, this goes to Compass Room, but you need to hit the switch first. I gotta try this in my spare time in the practice hack. That's interesting. I actually didn't know that. It also deletes the tile room chest. Thank you for telling me that. Yeah, why is he not doing tile room? I mean, it's slow, but... if you're deleting it, I feel like you should check it first. Maybe he doesn't know it deletes it, because sometimes we're just not aware of all the side effects of the things we do. We just do it because we saw someone else do it, and Bread-Kun gets some dead rocked. Well... oh, so Red has been slowly but surely catching up on the crystal count. Did get Eastern and Meyer, and has Landmo down and the Desert Crystal. Is still gonna have to deal with Swamp somehow, and find a fire source, but yeah, I don't know, we'll see what happens. Yeah, thank you, yo. I understand how it works. I can check the map and see which chests are numbered how. So that I'm aware of, yeah, that I mean, what you're saying makes sense. I just would have to look at the map. Because usually when you do all those Samaris and GT, people that do that usually do it in a specific order and they know what they're doing. Like, I'm guessing because he opened the Dark Magician's room. And he opened Hope Room as well. And I'm surprised Bread was attempting that because, like, the multiple Isamaris is pretty gross, honestly. Like, we're doing one is, you know, bearable, but like, before, I don't know, people that play casual, like, no logic, that don't require the bosses, do a lot of crystal duping without killing bosses, like, do an Isamaria chain to go to Hera from TR, and I like learned it just to like know it, and it was pretty terrible. I don't know why people would want to do that, but in Bread's defense, he's looking for a fire source for go mode. I think it's interesting that he attempted it. I would have liked to see it get done. If it's only 2 Samarias, I suppose it's not that bad, but... Oh, copies from the map chest? Okay. Well, they'll find the fire eventually. Or we'll get a double forfeit, one of the two. But if I was betting, I would bet that somebody finds a fire source. I don't know, maybe the rando gods are mocking me for saying the sea was too easy. So now I gotta sit here for 3 hours while they full clear the seed. Alright, nice kill for Red. Kills Cold Stare. Gets another crystal. I'm curious what RedKitsune thinks about the seed, like in terms of... I don't know if he's aware that Swamp is his last crystal, or if he thinks it's TR, or he doesn't know. Alright, so this North Samaria, it copies the big key chest onto the big chests. And, thank goodness he didn't go out the door, and also thank goodness he didn't open that a million times. I was gonna say, he doesn't have forever, like, RedKitsune will eventually, you know, catch up. Although since Red is in GT looking for items, I'm guessing does not know how or does not want to do the fake clippers for Swamp. And I don't blame him, that trick is awful. I mean, yeah, why wouldn't you be upset if you don't have hookshot? I mean, although the hookshot itself doesn't really do super a lot. Well, actually, no, that's... Well, for bread, not having silvers... Like, if Bread-Kun finds the hookshot, there's a really easy setup for stuck pushing with silver arrows and powder. But the hookshot doesn't do a whole lot for red, though. Seeing as how he can hover. You need, yeah, basically, for those that don't know, you need hookshot plus lamp with this loadout, pretty much. I mean, you can do temporary index setting with other items, but you really want to have the lamp. So, Bread-Kun checked Hookshot Cave and all of TR and didn't find anything. And now finally goes to Landmo, and we know this is not a fire source because Red already did it, but it is required. I don't know, there's been a lot of bad seeds going around lately, that's for sure. At least my bad seed that I had earlier was at least kind of interesting, because you had to be creative. Like, this is just like, just a fire source hunt. It's like, just doing a bunch of YBAs and Samarias. You're not really thinking super creatively. Although the East Samaria chain that Bread attempted was interesting, to be fair. And I'm not also not used to seeing people do the West Samaria in GT. That was cool. But they're not limited on glitching items. Like, they would rather have lamp and hookshot than a bunch of bottles. That's true. But they're not really limited on options for, like, glitching in terms of, like, where they can go and what they can do. Although the longer this goes on, I am getting a little bit curious if either of them actually knows how to get to the back of Skullwoods without hook pushing and without fire rod. It's not fun. I can tell you that much. But it's a little too early to say for sure, but this kind of feels like a fire rod in the back of Skullwood seed. So, Bread is back in TR. This looks like an Agatsu play. I don't know if Bread is going to attempt the madness of the 4 silver arrow cannon, but looks like we're at least getting the Agatsu requirement out of the way. This is a North Samaria that is one way of doing the lava dive. Falling in the lava warps us to Agatsu quite conveniently. And there are many ways to get into the lava, but well, we just saw the North Samaria method. Oh, meanwhile, Red, back in Mire looking for items, is going to get his silvers, and Burna apparently was here too. I saw Bread using it, but I wasn't sure where he got it from. I know Skullwoods is a pendant. I'm just saying, like, they're running out of places to look for items. Like, we have left side swamp, back of Skullwoods, right side GT, top of GT. Oh my goodness. Wait, where did he get a fire rod? I'm so sorry. Okay, well, okay, I should just go to bed. I apologize. Where was the fire rod? Please tell me. So, guessing it was in Turtle Rock? Oh, it was on Laser Bridge. Well, they should have went there earlier in my defense. Like, that's a pretty item-dense location, especially when they have Moon Pearl. Hey, that was a very nice Ganon kill from Bread-Kun, who is going to be the winner of this race. So, Bread-Kun has finished with an official race time, GG time, of 1 hour, 33 minutes, and 57 seconds. Well, see, now I wonder where the other fire rod was, but can't say I'm surprised it was on Laser Bridge. I watched him open. I guess I don't know. I guess I was just going back and forth too much. I missed it, but we'll see about getting Brett in for an interview. They're talking in the race room right now. And Red has decided to forfeit. I can't blame him. This seat, well, it didn't look that fun or interesting, unfortunately. Yes, game 3 hype, indeed. Hey, well, you people criticizing my admittedly poor commentary should have signed up yourself, so I'll just, leave it at that. Looking at you nobly. Hello, we're joined by RedKitsune. I'm Gigi. I'm sorry, you're really quiet. I couldn't hear what you were saying. And we're joined by Bread-Kun as well, the winner of this morning's race. GG, congratulations.
No, GG's.
Hey, so I'm gonna
Yeah.
have to apologize to you before. My commentary was not that great. I'm like, well, the reason why I'm saying that is because I don't know. I guess I just like stopped paying attention at some point, and I missed where you found the fire rod, and chat was making fun of me. So, um,
I mean, it's what. Hey, what place in like a non-glitch seed, or well, it can't be there in a non-glitch seed. I guess it could. Funny place for a Trinex killing weapon is always on Laser Bridge, of course.
yeah, I've seen that quite a bit in any mode of play. Honestly, you know, I'm a little bit surprised that we didn't go there sooner, but I mean, you had a lot of options. I did like a lot of
Yeah,
stuff you were doing. It was interesting. Like Tam was questioning you resetting, and I thought it was something like Ancilla related because you had a little bit of trouble with the splash delete. But then when you did the West Samari, I was like, oh, that's why. It's because he doesn't want to hard lock the game because we don't usually see people do that. I thought that was really interesting. The West Samari and GT.
Yeah. I'll be honest. Some of my decision making is purely because it's really late over here because I'm in the U.S. So it's very late,
Yeah.
and I'm tired and going. Oh wait, I have a hammer, don't I? Yeah, I just got that. All right, well, whatever. I did the West Samaria anyway.
Oh.
And then I've been on a backup controller for this race because my first one died, and during the first race, I cannot select buffer on this thing. And then I realized I could just walk into the front of swamp like a normal person with everything I had. So I was just being
Yeah,
dumb.
I saw you were getting frustrated with the dash citrus.
Yeah,
And yeah, I've been there.
I can normally do it. It's just purely because I have to use my backup or my hover controller basically. Because the one I normally use, I think just select button is just so stiff on it, so it's really easy to do it. Because it's just more like a click than anything. Whereas this one is
believe me,
a
I
lot more
understand.
mushy and kind of finicky, whether it wants to activate or not.
Oh, believe me, I understand. I've switched controllers many times, and yeah, believe me, I understand. I wasn't sure where you were going at first, but I was like, I didn't know if you had the swap small, but then it made sense when you entered the dungeon, and I saw that you did. Um, and I was like, it was a little bit painful to see you do the first attempt and get through, but then get hit by the enemy, and I was like, no, this is like the easy part of the trick. Like, come
I,
on.
I do it so rarely I forget if I'm supposed to start swimming when the spike or start swimming left when the spike is on the left or the right side. I do it so it doesn't come up that often. So I just forgot when
No, I
when I was supposed to
understand.
start it.
Yeah, you definitely have to time it. I understand. I'm not consistent at that trick at all. I have done it before, but just enough to know what it's like, but I probably would not attempt it in a race. But so I mean, great job like on getting it done. And overall, a lot of your execution was like pretty snappy. It was cool.
Yeah, this seed is. I mean, it's kind of interesting because you get Samaria and bottles so early in the seed that it's just like you can kind of just do whatever, and just at first hope you just find everything on the way. And then when that doesn't happen, I don't know. Go to random places and pray.
Yeah, you got 3 bottles and Samaria off the bat and 2 swords.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the world's
it
kind
was
of your
pretty
oyster
generous
at
up
that
front.
point.
Yeah, it was pretty generous until like the lack of fire source. 7 crystals or no fire source is kind of nuts. Or no, 6 crystals. I mean, sorry. Or no,
Yeah, I
I
mean
no.
technically I would have had it. I forgot to bring the right bottle color to desert. I don't know. I am just tired. I was
Yeah, I'm with you.
I was not making the best decision sometimes.
So, oh, Red, are you there? I think you were having like a technical issue earlier.
Yes, I, I am here. I was having technical issues, but it's already solved.
Okay. Well, GG. Thanks for playing the race. I mean, I don't blame you for forfeiting. You know, it's just like kind of like a fire source hunt at this point, or like a flippers hunt or whatever. But uh, did you have any thoughts about the seed?
Not really. I can't do swamp entrance clippers consistently enough in order to do it in a race, or at least the last try I did it, like it was like a year ago. So I don't remember at all how to do it. And I was never consistent. So GG's. This was we don't know where are the flippers, and I guess I will lose this race in any case.
Yeah, I'm with you. There's some seeds like that where, yeah, like this, it's such a powerful trick to be able to do it, and I've done it in practice, but like
Yeah,
I can't consistently do it though. Like sometimes it just doesn't happen for me. So yeah, I totally understand how you feel.
Yeah, it
Kind of
just kind of sucks
unfortunate.
because your other options for dealing with swamp are not great.
Oh yeah. It's even if you like execute perfectly, it still takes like 5 minutes at least to do the castle tower stuff. Because it takes like 3 minutes to climb it ish, and then you got to run back and forth through the sewers and all that, and yeah, it's a lot. Um, I don't know. I guess that's kind of the nature of the thing when like new
Mhm.
tech gets discovered and all that. But yeah. So Red had an unfortunate incident in Eastern, and I hate to bring it up because I'm sure you feel bad about it, but like it did affect the way the race was. Like even not knowing the Clippers, um, so what happened? Red was, I think, transitioned on accident in Eastern, and forgot to set up the West Samaria again with like
I
the
never
prompt from the
do
door.
I never do the transition trying to do the Somaya, so I totally forgot that you have to reset again the timer. I
Yeah, I've
guess
done that
that's
before
the
too.
problem, but it has been a while since I can do that. And these kind of things that you are so used to doing the first try that the second try you are forgot about how it worked. In any way, I was very tilted about losing the MSU, and I was thinking, okay, let's do a hard reset and let's get the MSU because I cannot play with the random vanilla music and dungeons are muted.
Disgusting vanilla music. We have all these
I agree with you.
cool songs.
Yeah, I understand. And I agree with you. Like the MSUs are actually one of the reasons I got into Rando. Because I don't know, I just really like music and like obviously it's fun to play the game and like learn stuff about it and like practice and get better and all that, but like it really does add something, I think, the fact that we can like put like whatever music we want in the game. So I'm right there with you. I understand the frustration of the. But supposedly we're getting it fixed, at some point. So like as soon as like
It has
beta
never
becomes the
happened to
live
me
branch or
before.
whatever.
I am pretty unsure about what trigger is. I am
I'm s
I'm I have read people talking about it, but I have no idea when happens and how it happens and how to fix it. It was the first time.
Oh, this was the first time it happened to you?
Yes.
Okay, so on the current version of the live branch, there's certain VRAMs from Spin YBAs, and so like the one Desert and the one to Argus will kill the music as well, and then certain North Samarias, like the one in Skullwoods that you did, also the one in the back of Skullwoods will do it. And also there's a North Samaria in TR, to delete the Try Next Door that also kills the music. Um, Off the top of my
And
head, those are the ones that I can remember that will do it.
and you need a hard reset in order to restore it, or you can do anything else.
I think the only way is to hard reset, yes.
Okay.
As far as I know.
Okay.
Well, if your opponent is okay with it in future races, you can roll on the beta branch called beta, and that issue actually doesn't happen on that branch, but people are cautioning people to, or that there may be issues that we don't know about because it is beta, but I personally haven't seen any of them, but that doesn't mean they don't exist, but it is an option. You can discuss it with well, I guess, so we're going to game 3 for this round, but so you guys could decide on that, or if your next opponent as well, you can discuss that. Because I agree, losing the music is horrible.
I guess our game 3 is going to be a sync because we cannot find too many times that we are both of us awake.
Yeah, it's
No,
partially
no,
times and partially awkward timing of me suddenly having to move, but next week, which kind of throws a wrench in things. So I just try to make it work or something. I don't know. I'll figure it out. I'll think about it tomorrow after I sleep because I am
Yeah, hopefully.
exhausted.
Well, hopefully that will get sorted out then. And hopefully we'll get to see a game 3. If not, maybe we'll restream the VODs of the asyncs on someone's channel if we can't get like a live restream. But either way, GG to both of you again. Congrats, Bread-Kun. And good luck in future races. Do you guys have any other thoughts?
GG's, thanks for the restream and the commentary. Tam that was tracking, I guess. Thanks,
Yeah.
thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks for the restream.
Yeah. Thank you, Tam, for tracking. Barbarelia, I hope you're feeling better. Sorry that you had to take a break. I don't know this person's name that helped us set up. It's a symbol in like their name is a symbol. I don't know what it is. It's like Greek or something. So sorry, I can't credit you for the setup. But anyways, thanks to SpeedGaming, thanks for our admins for hosting the tournament, and yeah, thanks everyone for watching. My name's JD Silvergun, and we will see you next time.